Okay, you're gonna have to excuse shaky cam here. So my the finish is dry enough to keep futzing with it. After I was done applying it, I put it on. After I applied it, I buffed it out with the DA, and then I buffed it out with the DA again. And we're about an hour, 2 hours later, and it's still slightly tacky, but I can work on it. So the next thing I want to do is I want to install the crossovers. Now, as you saw in my other video, I overbuilt the crossover on a panel. But I did that for a reason. One is I wanted it to look cool, but the other is I wanted it to look cool. So now I have to put it in the box. SOP is to glue them in, to go through this little hole, make the crossover big enough to fit through the hole here, and then like glue it in, which is something I've seen a bunch of people do. I'm not going to do that way for a couple reasons. The main reason is I am 90% sure that this box is so big that the speakers are going to sound like crap. So I want to be able to shrink the volume of the inside of the box at a later date. Now there's a couple ways I can do that. One is to build a panel that fits on the inside of this box, and then mount it all the way up here, or pretty close to it, which will at minimum halve the size of the box. If it's still too big, I can make a panel that will slide up on the inside of here and just cover the speakers themselves on the inside to shrink the volume of the box internally where the speakers are exponentially smaller. I guess, I don't know. So what I'm doing is I'm mounting the crossover way up here in the top of the box. Now this is the back of the box. And then the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to drill. That's why the bottom's open. I'm actually going to attach it with a screw. was originally only going to use one screw, but it was jitterbugging around in there. I don't want it rattling or vibrating or anything. So now I can take it out if I need to. The whole, whenever I build anything custom, I build it so I can service it at a later date. I may never have to service these. I hope I don't ever have to service them. But if I do, I want to be able to do it. The other thing you'll notice is these wires are obscenely long. That's okay. I was originally going to put the crossover all the way at the bottom of the box on the base plate. As a matter of fact, when I built the crossover, I had actually designed it to fit on the base plate. And I changed my mind because I had a feeling, or I have a feeling, I'm going to have to make these boxes smaller. All right. Well, next we'll be installing the foam stuffing, and then the speakers themselves. I'm actually waiting on the grates for the speakers, so I can't. I could put the speakers in, but I don't really want to, because the grates mount underneath the speakers. I wanted to get this on video because I want you to see the expression on my fucking face. This is the story of my fucking life, and this is why custom shit costs so much fucking money. And why actually, and a lot of times, you're better off just fucking buying something. This is kind of petty, but I gotta fucking complain about it. I gotta complain about it. This is not the first time this has happened to me. As a matter of fact, this has happened to me probably at least 6 to 8 times in my fucking life when dealing with audio shit. Not just audio shit, but shit in general. Especially when you're doing custom work. So I originally was going to build a frame around these to cover the speakers, and I have speaker cloth, and I was going to do a traditional kind of like speaker cover for it. I put it together, I stuck everything together, and I'm like, you know what? I spent a lot of time on this wood. I kind of want to see the wood, right? But I also don't want to see the speakers, right? I don't want this exposed. The tweeter actually kind of looks cool. The speaker, not so much, right? So I go to Parts Express, where I got this stuff from, and I order 5 1/4 inch. I should note that these are 5 1/4 inch speakers. So I ordered again from them 5 1/4 inch speaker grates. Awesome, right? All I have to do is screw these on, or actually all I have to do is put these on. Oh, wait a minute, they don't fucking line up. And then plop the speakers in. Oh, look, the fucking speakers don't fit. And it's utterly fucking infuriating. Now, I have the technology and the tools to cut these fucking speakers. I do. But I don't think I should fucking have to. But I have to. Because the grates don't fit either. If I thought I could get away with making new rings and popping the grates over the new rings, I would do that. But they don't fucking fit. The grate, if you know, do it this way. So we'll assume that the ring is the grate. The speaker doesn't fit over the grate, or the grate does not fit over the speaker. Not even fucking close. I mean, it's not like I can just, yeah. It's like, motherfucker, I wanted this done today. It can be done today. I could put the fucking speakers in, take these things and fling them into the fucking woods. I can take these things and fling them into the fucking woods and be done with them. I suck at cutting circles. that's my other problem, and that's my problem. But I suck at cutting circles. So I can modify these grates, or I can cut the fucking speakers. And honestly, I don't want to fucking do either. Motherfucker. Story of my fucking life. I mean, not for nothing, I think that would look pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to cut the fucking speakers. I mean, I could just take a pair of tin snips and cut the edge of the, these are cheap speakers, so it's not like I'm losing a whole lot. And I just need to cut the ear off to make it a circle. But motherfucker. Okay, now that I had my little fucking temper tantrum, and I'm still pissed. I'm still beside myself fucking pissed about this. I came up with a solution that isn't awful. So, because I am who I am, and I can do what I can do, I immediately just said, fuck it, I'm going to cut the speakers. So the speakers themselves, I looked them up individually priced on, they're only like 40 bucks a piece for these speakers. So what I ended up doing was whipping out my handy dandy Blue Point Aviator shears, snips here, red for right, green for left, and yellow for straight. So I grabbed the left cutters and went yoink. I think it says cuts left. One cuts left, one cuts right, and one cuts straight. Whatever way it goes. But in this particular case, I'm cutting this way, so these cut nicely this direction. I got a pretty decent edge on it. I don't want to grind these because I've ground speakers before and magnets collect metal filings. So, step 2, because, you know, why would it work even after I cut the speakers, right? So the rings are actually the wrong size too. The rings require trimming because they don't fit over the speakers without they don't fit over the speakers, so the speaker's tight up against the ring. There's a raised ring here. There's a raised ring here on this speaker that prevented the speaker from laying flat in the trim ring itself. So I had to cut that back. Well, again, I called through the horde, whipped out my handy dandy Harbor Freight air nibbler, which I absolutely hate this tool, but it does have its uses, and this is one of them. And I just took it and ran it around the inside. The other thing I had to do was take this out to the anvil. These are raised on the inside. They punch the holes. And the irony is the fucking holes are the wrong way anyway. The Chinese, man. So the holes are going the wrong direction. The holes are countersunk the wrong way. So you would have to change this anyway. This is raised. This is raised up. It's got to be going in if you're mounting the speakers from the outside, which is the only way to really mount these. So that's stupid too. So what I did was I went out to my anvil and I got my body hammer and I pounded these flat. Took the nibbler and then just, I'll toot my own horn here and say that I don't want to say a nibbler expert, but I'm pretty good at nibbling. So using my finger as a guide, I just ran the nibbler around the outside, taking a finger's width off the inside, or less than a finger's width. My finger is here, so it's maybe 1/8 of an inch, give or take a little. And then I just hit them on my sander real quick to clean them up. But custom, right? You want custom, you want nice shit, you want fancy things, then you have to pay the price. And in this particular case, the price is I got to do all. I have to do these. At least there isn't 16 mids, right? That's the next set of speakers.